copyright date of 1939. Whilst in it, Professor Jones refers to work published by Wittgenstein that didn't appear until last year, 1940.
Robert, I'm afraid the significance of all this eludes me.
Harriet Winterflood's comment here, sir, is that Trinity had noted that Professor Arnold Jones is continuing to work and publish whilst interned, and that someone thinks it important enough to attempt to hide that fact by attaching an incorrect copyright date to his much more recent article.
This is our man in Dublin, is it?
He sent the letter, yes, sir.
I'm not really interested in the outpourings of Professor Arnold Jones, Robert. File it.
Yes, sir.
So, we have 6 reports of possible fifth-column activities requiring action.
Yes, sir.
38 reports to be filed. Right. Swansea, what have you done about that?
Captain Baker, security, is collecting what information he can for us. And I've got DPI chasing a field officer to report on some missing material.
Classified?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Have you seen this from Central, Robert?
I don't think so, sir. What is it?
The topography of the borough of Swansea. Within its boundaries, the town possesses a mix of force, steel, and tin plate works, a copper refinery, oil refinery, chemical works, several iron foundries, miles of dock jam-packed with ships, many of them loading high explosives for the Middle East war zone. Central's asking why, during 3 consecutive nights of saturation bombing, none of these strategic targets hit, other than the off-chance of blow. The whole force of the attack was concentrated on the town centre and the surrounding housing estates of Town Hill, Maselton, and Landor.
Leaving 500 dead and 7,000 homeless, I believe.
Terror tactics or something else? Something cleverer, do you suppose?
I'm sorry.
The suggestion is being made that the objective of the attack was to take out a target more important than anything we knew about. I've asked for a briefing, but I'll keep your eyes on that one.
Yes, sir.
Don't pick that up, miss. It's too heavy.
Oh, thank you, David.
Boys, can I handle here, do?
Give it for this.
Right, Chief.
A second box similar to this.
Yes, identical.
They were a pair and always kept together. A duplicate set of records in each.
Excuse me, Mr. McDonald. The final test sheets for last Wednesday's burn. Where do you want them?
With half my office wall missing, Miss Price, I think that inquiry is somewhat redundant.
Excuse me.
Where were the boxes normally? Mind you, actually, it's your end done a bit. Hang on, see, my hand is slipping. Right, okay. Sorry, Mr. McDonald, we'll be out of the way in a second. Oh, thank you, Mr. Davis. Yes. Sorry. I'm sorry, Captain. Yes, you were saying the record boxes. Where would they be? Well, one in my lab and one in the safe. My secretary, Miss Price, was responsible for their constant updating. The raid was at its height as she was placing the day's papers into their respective boxes. And when we were hit, she, with great presence of mind, clambered into the safe out of harm's way, but leaving the 2 record boxes on the floor. Miss Price, when did you realize that one of the boxes was missing?
More or less as soon as I was rescued.
This, of course, was some 10 hours later. That's how long it took the rescue team to reach us. I would, of course, stress that no blame attaches to Miss Price. Oh, of course. Is it possible to have a word with whoever rescued Miss Price from inside the safe? Well, yes, sir. I imagine so. You, can you spare a moment, please? This young very fortunate indeed. He left the building to go home to look after his aunt any moments before the bomb struck.
Good morning, Captain Baker. Good morning, Hugh. No bad it was you. So, this is where you were.
Oh, you two know one another?
I'm billeted at Coy's Island with Hugh's aunt to see her.
Oh, yes, the famous aunt.
When did you realize that one of the record boxes was missing, Hugh?
Oh, it was Muriel, Miss Price, who realized that. I only reported it missing. One was where it had been left, but there was no sign of the other. Was there, Miss Price?
Of course, the likely explanation would seem to be that the box was thrown aside by one of the enthusiastic rescuers and was subsequently cleared away with the rubble.
Oh, we've got two of the house dogs searching the various dipping sites.
Well, we'll take that over now. Do I understand that you still have a duplicate set of the records, Dr. McDonald?
Yes, we do. The danger is that the missing copies might fall into wrong hands.
Yes, we are aware of that.
Well,
Well, what?
is Sir Ian interested? Am I to go on with it?
Is Sir Ian interested in what, Miss Winterflood?
Professor Arwell Jones and the letter from Trinity College Dublin.
No. Sorry, Harriet.
You spoiled it.
I believe so.
The man lacks both subtlety and imagination, Mr. Klein.
Maybe so. But we receive up to 500 reports a day, any one of which could be vital to the continuation of the war effort. And with a staff of only 25 officers, this department needs someone who has both subtlety and imagination to make the essentially arbitrary decisions as to what we actually investigate. And for that job, Sir Ian Maxwell is ideally suited.
Well, I think he's wrong.
Or he's totally wrong.
What do you think?
Excuse me. Lord Klein, yes? Miss Williams. Who? Major Cunningham. Right, thank you. No. He's worked for us before, that's fine. Ask him to seek out Captain Baker in Swansea, will you? He's securities man there. Thank you. We are sending a retired major to work under a young captain, Miss Winterflood. Poor old Baker.
What am I going to do about Arwell Jones?
What you told to? Nothing.
Bloody ridiculous, you! They'll never find it amongst this lot. Square mile of rubble and they're looking for a tin box. Oh, very thorough, these army chaps. Oh, daft beggars. This isn't the only rubble pit, you know. It could be anywhere. It might have shown up in the lab by now. No, I very much doubt it. Hey, come on. Got you back on duty in 15 minutes. Want to borrow my bike? Oh, what about you? No, I'm going to stroll over to see if it's been handed in the police station. Oh, that chance. That's worth a try. What have I got to lose, Owen? Oh, what indeed? Easy ahead.
Well, Captain Baker, I telephoned London immediately, Major Cunningham, but you were already well on your way here. I'm sorry that you made a long journey for nothing, sir. But I'm sure that you are as relieved as I am that the box has been found and that the matter is at an end. And where was it found? At the Central Police Station, sir. It was handed in yesterday. The box being locked and not labeled in any way, the police took no action on it.
Have you talked to the man who found it?
The police have no record, I'm afraid. However, I've spoken to Dr. MacDonald, the man in charge of the laboratory. He said that none of the paperwork is missing. I'd like to see that box, Baker.
Yes, sir.
If you think it's necessary.
And I need some of the stir. Food, freshen up.
I'll see what I can arrange, Major Cunningham.
Intelligence in London believes that the attack on Swansea targeted the town centre. All else was ignored. And this laboratory is within the area of maximum saturation. Add to this the fact that the laboratory records went missing during the raid, and now they've turned up again. In about the time it might take to reproduce them photographically. Coincidence, Captain Baker? I think a closer look is indicated, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Then to work.
Coincide. It means Saxon's wood. The house is built on the site of an ancient Saxon camp, or so the story goes. It's much too large, of course, and it's probably silly to go on living here with just the three of us.
Thank you.
But what would become of my 20 young army officers if we left?
The three of you being yourself, your husband, and your son, is it?
No. My husband died, unfortunately, just after the outbreak of the war.
Sorry.
My son Owen is here with me, and my brother's boy Hugh lives here also.
I see. And how old are the boys, Mrs. Tressida?
Oh, they're young men now. Owen is a fireman, and Hugh is doing special war work of some kind.
Indeed.
All very secret. Otherwise, I suppose they'd both be in the army, and I'd be here on my own. Except for my 20 officers, of course. We mustn't forget them, must we?
Yeah. And what's the nature of Hugh's work, Mrs. Tressida?
Oh, I'm not sure. Hush laboratory work of some kind, so Owen tells me.
Owen?
Well, not in any detail, of course. Just that Hugh works in some secret establishment near Goat Street.
Really? And Hugh lives here to be near his work. Is that the idea?
Oh, no. Hugh came to live here with us before the war, when circumstances made it difficult for him to go on living at home. He's been like a brother to Owen, and something of a good influence. Hugh's so sensible.
And Owen isn't?
Well, he's a bit like me, I'm afraid. His heart rules his head.
Yes, indeed. You wanted to see me, gentlemen? Ah, yes, Hugh. Come in. You know Captain Baker, of course. Yes, sir. My name is Cunningham, Major Cunningham, from the Ministry of Defense. I'm here to investigate the recent air attacks on Swansea. To investigate them? Given the security implications of any air raid on Ministry of Defense property, an on-the-spot investigation is carried out where possible. A routine matter. Just a few questions for all the staff. But if it's to do with the missing records, I think I should tell you. I went to the Central Police Station yesterday at lunchtime to see if the missing record box had been handed in. Ah, I see. So it is you who recovered the missing box, you? Good work, young man. But that's just it, Major Cunningham. I didn't recover the missing box. I thought you just said... No, sir, no. What I said was that I went to the police station to see if the box was there. It wasn't. Someone has beaten you to it and had already collected it. Well, that's what I would have assumed, sir, except that according to the sergeant on the desk, no such box had been handed in. There was certainly no mention of having been collected. Captain Baker, I understood you to say
did the right thing mentioning this to you, sir?
Yes, I think we can say that you did the right thing. Do you know anything about the man who returned the records to the laboratory, David?
No. Only that he was involved in the rescue operation at the laboratory.
And 36 hours later, he returned to the missing records. Well, Captain Baker, I think we should organize an interview with this hero of the hour. Right away, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You say a word, please. Sit down. Yes. Now, tell me, have you ever discussed the nature of your work with anyone at all outside the laboratory, Hugh?
No, sir, never.
What about girlfriends? Or sheltered your local?
No, sir, I never talked to anyone about my work.
Family?
My immediate family know that the work is highly secret, and they know that I work here in Goat Street. It would be difficult to keep that level of information away from them year on end, wouldn't it? But that's all.
That's Mrs. Cressida and Owen, your cousin, of course.
Yes.
The farm.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Joe. No need to mention this discussion we've had to anyone. All right?
Miss Winterflood, I really am most awfully busy.
It would only take a minute, dear, and you see, there's information here I think you should be aware of. And since the work has been done, you might as well take a look at what I've come up with.
Your line manager is Mr. Klein.
But he's only interested in what you tell him to be interested in.
That is why Mr. Klein is considered a high flyer, Miss Winterflood.
Arwell Jones graduated from Aberystwyth University in 1919 and went immediately to Kiel University,
Must I listen to this?
where he undertook postgraduate research in the Celtic minority. In 1921, he married a German girl called Helga Fischer, who was a half-Jewess, her mother's maiden name having been Rosenthal. They had one son. Arwell Jones remained at Kiel University and became a professor in 1931. He and his wife were interned at the outbreak of the war.
I'm not interested in the fate of Professor Arnold Jones. He has chosen his bed and must now lie on it. Do you wish to continue?
Yes, I do.
Very well, young woman.
Our records of the International Youth Congress show that this son, Hugo, joined the Hitler Youth Movement when he was 15 and volunteered for the German army 2 years later, using his mother's name of Fischer. That was in 1938. I have traced Hugo Fischer further. This morning, Unit 7 confirmed that Hugo Fischer was posted to the Indian Engineering Brigade in Bremen, a Sonderformationen unit.
And what, may I ask, is a Sonderformationen unit?
It's a foreign unit where non-national descent would choose the army rather than internal. Apparently, Hugo Fischer did not possess German nationality.
Apparently. So,
Well, that's as far as I've got. A thought has crossed my mind, however.
never mind thoughts, young lady. The facts.
All right, we know for a fact, don't we, that Arwell Jones continues to research and to publish whilst interned, which is odd. It seems to be entirely possible that this young man's career in both the Hitler Jugend and subsequently in the German army may have served to make the authorities take it easy with his half-Jewish mother and his British father.
Yes.
So, why don't the Germans want anyone to know this? Why did they try to suppress the fact that Arwell Jones is being allowed to publish? Why don't they want us to know that a deal has been struck? In short, what is going on?
said is possible. Most things are possible. But your interest in this case stems from one deduction alone, that the false copyright date on Arnold Jones's article was a deliberate action intended to cover up a suspicious ambiguity. Let us look at the matter differently. Let us suppose the printer made a mistake and appended the wrong date, or that Arnold Jones appended the wrong date, or that Jones saw an advanced copy of Wittgenstein's work, or that the German censor mistakenly thought the news of Arnold Jones's continued work important. Then your whole edifice crumbles. There. 4 explanations that fit the facts, and each is more likely. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I hope you don't have a hunch about this one,
No, sir.
because I do not employ researchers who have hunches, do I, Miss Winterblood?
No, sir.
Right. Now, go and do what you're paid to do.
Missing persons are part of my brief.
Arnold Jones is not a missing person. We know where he is and we know what he's doing. Just find me the facts, young woman. That is what you're paid to do. Facts, not fictions. Good morning.
I told you.
He not only lacks subtlety and imagination, he insists on certainty.
He's an empiricalist.
Not my word for him. How do I resign?
You enlist in the WAF.
Oh,
Robert, a word, please. Swansea. Who did we send down there?
Major Cunningham, sir, here.
Any progress?
Cunningham has asked for information on leading fireman Alan Davies, and we traced him. It seems Davies once stood on a platform with Sir Oswald Mosley at a meeting in Swansea in 1935, to be precise.
Remind me of the significance of this man Davis.
He's the chap who handed in the missing laboratory records, claiming to have brought them from the police station. Cunningham established that this is not so.
The inference being that this former black shirt stole the lab records under the cover of an enemy.
Yes, sir.
By having done that, why should he run the risk of returning them?
Possibly to establish confidence within the laboratory that security had not been breached.
That's crude. However, if Davis is a fifth columnist, then the Germans want us to continue with this Swansea project. How important, I wonder, is this work being done in Swansea?
Extremely important, sir. It's all in securities memorandum.
Why haven't I seen that?
It is on your desk, sir. You simply haven't reached it yet. That's all.
Well, what is going on in Swansea?
A new fuels research program looking for propellants for long-range weaponry, rockets. The Germans were at it before the war, but abandoned their research in 1938. Apparently, we took it up in 1940.
Ah, that accounts for the high state of twitch at Central. There is speculation that the Germans knew of this work and intended to destroy it. Well, that's bad enough, but if the progress we've made reaches the enemy, what progress has Cunningham made with this man Davis?
I'm afraid Major Cunningham has temporarily lost sight of them.
What?
It seems somebody must have tipped the man off in his splendid hands.
Good God.
I'm quite sure it's only a temporary hit, sir. They have reason to believe that Davies is holed up somewhere on the Gallup Peninsula.
Oh, thank heavens we only collate, Robert. I wouldn't like to be in charge of MI5 if this man gets away.
I gather the army are searching for Davies now, sir.
turn towards the dunes. With respect, sir. Respect nothing, sir. The rest of you, follow me.